హలో,
అయితే నేను చెక్ చేసుకుంటాను.
హలో, హలో.
Good morning, all of you. Welcome to the third day of AICT-sponsored Atal 6-day FDP on multi-carrier modulation techniques for 6G wireless communications. I request Dr. N.V. Lalita to introduce our today's resource person to all our participants.
Respected dignitaries, today's resource person, my dear participants, very good morning to one and all. It is my pleasure to introduce today's chief guest and resource person, Dr. Anil Kumar sir. Dr. Anil Kumar Uppala, working as Associate Professor at IIIT Hyderabad. He received his BTech in ECE from JNTU Hyderabad in 2005, MTech from NIT Kurukshetra and PhD in Signal Processing from IIT Kharagpur in 2012. He working from 2012 onwards at IIIT Hyderabad. His research interests primarily in speech signals in mobile and practical environments. He has published over 100 articles in reputed publications. He is currently handling 2 sponsored projects and completed 9 funded projects. He successfully guided 7 PhD students and 11 MS students. Currently he is guiding 5 full-time PhD students and 9 MS students. He has given more than 100 invited talks in various workshops and conferences. He is a diverse member of various autonomous institutions. I request Dr. Anil Kumar sir to take over the session.
Not many audiences, maybe also not required, right? Is there any online participants? I hope I am audible, right? Okay, I think this workshop is on 6G communication, right? What is the title of the workshop? 6G communication. So anyway, I am talking on AI, but I will also try to tell you what is the role of AI in 6G. I think my main area of research is not on communication, but actually on natural communication, that is speech, right? Most of our communication is also to transfer the speech, right, from source to destination. So my area of research is speech communication. Okay, some of my works demos also I will give, but I also work majorly on AI. How can we apply AI on speech communication? But 6G communication also compared to 5G, the 6G communication also many things are automized using AI, okay, using artificial intelligence. So and also more importantly, many things need AI, right? So many applications require AI, so that has to happen through mobile. So many things, controls has to happen in future through mobile, right? So your communication should should also enable Edge AI. Have you heard the term Edge AI? Edge AI is, and 6G, along with the 6G, Edge AI is also very, very popular now. Okay, so how to incorporate, how to deploy our AI, complex AI algorithm on edge, or how to do things, because everywhere if you want servers etc. maybe not possible. How to reduce the server intervention, or if servers are required, how to make our communication more faster. 6G is promising 1000 times better than 5G fast, right? So because many things has to happen on online, server based things. Okay. So, how many of you feel that AI is related to computer science? All of you are EC, or what is your background? How many of you think that AI is related to computer science? Okay, so AI is nothing to do with ECE or computer science or anybody. This is a mathematical techniques. Artificial intelligence is a statistical mathematical techniques, right? If you have a data and if you want to predict something or classify something, or you want to take decisions on the data, there are some statistical algorithms and machine learning algorithms and neural networks algorithms are available. That of course we are coding them using Python, etc. That doesn't mean that that will become computer science related stuff. So we should not be layman. One of this session, I divided this session into two parts. One of this session, I will try to tell you that why AI is required for everybody, and also what are the pros and cons. What are the limitations of AI. Also, I will discuss. So that that is one part, and second part is I will talk on research, my research, and also in general how to conduct the research. Okay. So coming to the AI nowadays, from school teacher to or a first class student to crazy that my kids are studying 7th and first class, and they also have a book on AI. That may be crazy and maybe not needed, but from prime ministers to everybody is talking about AI, right? So, so if you ask me that whether this kind of boom for AI will be there for long or not, I am not sure, but AI won't go away. AI won't go away, but this much importance will come or not, I am not sure. But AI has a anyway, AI is because of deep learning and other approaches, it looks new, but AI is not new. The way how many of you know that computer science went from ECE? Okay, computer science people have laughed at things that how come computer can be a science, right? Because ECE is the mother branch that time. Then from ECE, computer science derived. Now because of various aspects of databases, programming, and other stuff that became a computer science and became very very popular and dominated other fields. Similarly, AI is also some of the algorithms are as old as 50-70 years back. But it's also computer science owning them as allied branches, data science, machine learning is also kind of surprise to many. Okay, because AI is applied many places, not only in computer science actually. Okay. So AI is there. Crazy thing is you ask any of you people who are working in your software also. Everybody is talking about AI. Those management people are asking AI how to use AI for the strategy. Product managers are using AI. Everybody is talking about AI. Okay, so you also already using some of the applications of AI, right? AI is there in the finance domain, speech domain, social media. So, for example, you went to Amazon and search for some product, right? So all the related products will come automatically for you, right? All the related products will come automatically. Or you search in the internet, you want to go from Hyderabad to Rajahmundry, okay? Then whenever you open other website also, you will say that hotels in Rajahmundry or something will pop up. Those are called recommendation systems. Based on your Google search or whatever you are searching, automatically you will get recommendations. Because this is not by somebody, right? It's all based AI based recommendations. Okay, and similarly, when you open a LinkedIn or Facebook, what posts to show you, right? Who will take a decision that there might be hundreds of posts from your friends, right? Which one to show first, right? Again, AI. Okay, so similarly, social media, many places in the mobile, lot of AI is used already. How many of you know Alexa, Microsoft Google, Microsoft Cortana, Apple Siri, right? Many places we are using AI, right? So similarly, if I want to come from airport to here, so I can use Google Maps, and Google Maps will tell you speech, right? So that is also, that speech is generated using AI. Okay, speech is generated using AI. So and also all of you no need to tell about the application of LLM, right? LLMs have many applications. So similarly in 6G, if you find coming to the AI in 6G, during my PhD I worked on how speech recognition will get affected because of mobile speech. So that means, so if you see, how many of you confused, if you are talking over mobile, your friend is calling from mobile from unknown number. Sometimes we will confuse their voice, right? Did you observe that? Yeah. It is because we are not sending the direct speech. We are coding and decoding. We are compressing the speech and decompressing because our channel is bandwidth is limited. So that is the lossy process. Though I worked on during my PhD that how that will affect the speech recognition or other tasks. That is my area. But anyway, after that my main focus, some of my demos of my work I will show you later. But in 6G communication, how AI play a role? Network optimization, some of this network optimization or intelligent automation of the network management. So earlier, there may be some algorithms used for management of a network, etc., to take the decisions. The way, you are taking the decision of what post to show or how to manage the things. So AI will take the decisions, how to manage the traffic. If you introduce a 6G, there may be many devices it has to handle, many communication things it has to handle, that AI will handle. That is, the idea is that, based on the demand, how AI can take a decision of a network optimization, intelligent automation, enhance the user experience, with low latency, with very fast networks, how to enhance the user experience, dynamic spectrum management, because all of you know that, right? In the communication, spectrum is the main critical resource. So how to manage the spectrum dynamically, digital twins, right? Network behavior, etc. Security and privacy also, how to use AI for the intrusion detection, anomaly detection and other stuff in the network. Okay, so how is AI is integrated? AI for the network. So to take the routing and resource allocation, that management I told, right? You can use AI for the management. Network for AI, another thing is that we also need a many AI applications require the network to be available, right? So then only AI, for example, your Alexa or Cortana or Microsoft Cortana or Apple Siri works if the network is available, otherwise they don't work. So how to make that network available for AI, all these things are required, So many places AI is integrated. So what I am trying to say is that's why I asked a question, how many of you think that AI is related to CSE? No, so you see that 6G communication has a very important role of AI. So as a communication engineer also, you also need to know AI. Okay, there is no escape, because most of the conventional way of channel allocation or channel management or spectrum management, many of these things will be taken over by AI algorithms, not anymore by a signal processing or a conventional algorithms. So in that way, we need to know AI actually. So it is a basic thing. So people use AI, machine learning and deep learning as a synonyms, but they are not synonyms. Okay. So if you want to use a single term, use AI. That anyway you want to create the intelligence, that is AI. But if you use a particular set of statistical methods, that is called machine learning. And the deep learning is a part of machine learning, where deep learning means use the different architectures of neural networks. Okay. Can you see this figure? Is this figure visible? Okay. So this figure is the reason behind. I think if you can feel that this is the figure. Is because of this figure, this all allied branches have come out. Okay. So what is this figure says? What is this? X-axis amount of data, y-axis is performance. You can see the red line and blue line. Okay. So many of the for example, I will tell you a small story of a speech recognition. All of you know speech recognition. What is speech recognition? Speech to text conversion. Speech to text conversion. Okay. So we also built Telugu speech recognition with a lot of funding. So I will show that demo in the end. All of you are using speech recognition nowadays, for voice-based searching and others. Even my kid, when he is young, you will go to Play Store and touch the microphone and play car game. But you may not write how to write car game, but you will speak car game and install and play. Right? The story behind that is, it took 50 plus years to come to that speech recognition like Alexa. All of you know Alexa, right? Alexa came only 4-5 years back, right? Not before that. But the research started 50 years back. Another connection for that to India is that, there is a professor called Professor Raj Reddy. Okay, he is also chairman of IIIT for 25 years and now he stepped out. Professor Junjunwala has taken over. Professor Raj Reddy is a civil engineer. Okay. But in Stanford University, they gave an opportunity that anybody, any branch, we are starting a computer science branch, anybody can shift into computer science for your PhD or something. Then he shifted from civil engineering to computer science PhD. His PhD thesis is the first Stanford PhD. First Stanford PhD in computer science is by an Indian, Raja Reddy. Okay, it is on speech recognition. He is now 80 plus. Okay. And 4 or 5 years back when come to IIIT, the amount of happiness he see, he's shown that because all my life goal is to see Alexa. The words what he told is that I am still alive. I am still allowed to. I am happy to see Alexa. It took quite some time to jump from this red line to blue line. Okay, many times the field is in the machine learning. Machine learning, artificial intelligence. There is nothing to do. Nothing has come last 5 years back. These are all there from last 50, 60 years. Neural networks, the concept of neural network idea has come in 1950s. But why? This jump is this jump is the reason behind the AI advancements. For example, you have an algorithm, you use some statistical algorithms using AI, the performance is around 60%, 70%. We can't make a product out of it, right? For example, I am using Alexa, I am telling 4 or 5 times out of 10 times it is not understanding what you are saying. You don't use Alexa, right? At least, it is not perfect, but at least 8 to 9 out of 10 times it is working. So in that way, what deep learning pushed is that the performances are increased. The performance are increased, cross the, I can't say that this is 100%, but it is a performance reached to a stage where I can make a product out of it. That's where industry jumped into that, and LLM is another exceptional product that, that has, made things more visible. So, you may ask, what is this, what is the reason behind this jump? What is the classical machine learning and the deep learning? So again, I have not written this graph. I written that graph. Is a pen is there? Because of deep learning, the performance. This is what the graph says is that you can also see that when data is not much there, the deep learning is not shown that much performance, low performance. When data is less, this is only there. But this is what deep learning, the performance improvement is there. But another joke is that our learning is going like this, right? Our understanding, our thing, there is a high, I'm not joking, there is a high chances that, machines will increase their intelligence, or humans will lose our intelligence. We already lost many capabilities, right? I observe whenever I go to bank, somebody taking a DD, my students are taking DD, if the DD person says, what is the DD charge, 75 rupees, 1000 plus 75, they will take calculator and add. They don't write 1075. It's not that easy calculation, but anyway, 900 plus 70 or something, they don't calculate. They don't use their brain. Okay, they open the mobile, put some numbers and write it. So there is a high chance that it's a very, very challenging. This AI is a very, very challenging for our, especially for academy also, how to plan our academics that see deep learning. I think there may be some crosstalk. Okay. So there is a deep learning is not only required for machine learning. Deep learning is also required for humans. Yeah. Okay. So thing is that how is that jump happened? So thing is that how that jump, that red line to blue line, how is this classical machine learning and deep learning, how is it improved actually, so there are 4 reasons for that. There are 4 reasons for that. One is the amount of data increased nowadays, right? Amount of data is increased enormously. The data availability is very huge now, and more importantly, computation power increased, right? All of you heard about GPU or multi-core CPUs and GPUs, right? Because even the amount of data is there, we also need to have a compute to absorb that data. So those two are there. Those two are nothing to do with deep learning, right? That is there available for the classical machine learning algorithms also, data and and computation power. But if you see this graph carefully, if you have more data, performance is improving, and beyond some point it's saturating. The performance is saturating at 50-60% is saturating. The reason is that classical machine learning has small set of parameters, 2-3 parameters. If you take support vector machine, a random forest, or a hidden Markov model, any of these models you take, 3-4 statistical parameters it has, not more than that. They will get optimized even beyond that. If you give data also, there are no more parameters to fine tune. Okay, they get optimized, the performance get optimized. On the other hand, that's where the deep learning, there is nothing deep in that. You have more parameters, that's where the term deep learning, that is also not great name given, but anyway, the name deep learning is because we have more number of parameters. If you have more data, take more deeper network and more layers of networks and more parameters so that it can optimize. Okay, that one way you can see that the performance are increasing. The disadvantage on the other hand is that explainability. Okay, explainable. Why I am using some billion parameters or million parameters, I got this performance, but I don't know why this performance has come. Because I can't analyze lakhs of parameters to say that why my performance got increased. Right? That is explainability of a deep neural network is an issue. Okay, because that also more or like a trial and error method. Because we have this I can skip. Sorry. So these are all so many parameters are available in machine learning, deep learning, that number of layers, number of neurons, number of activation function, different activation functions, loss function, learning rate, batch size, many parameters are there, and there is no algorithm to say that how many layers I should use, how much should be my batch size, what activation function I should use. It's more or like a trial and error method, or use anybody has succeeded with these parameters, try to replicate that with your data. If it works, okay, otherwise you try and do the trial and error method. So we can't exactly say that why the performance is because of that, or what parameters makes more role in that. Is the explainability is an issue actually. Okay, but the thing is that as long as the performance is improved, performance is crossing the beyond some percentage, there is a lot of interest, commercial interest, that people have taken over this field. And another advantage of deep learning, along with these two, which are general advantages, as I already mentioned, the fourth advantage I already discussed. Deep learning, the name itself is deep learning, because if you have more data, you take more number of parameters. That advantage is there only for deep learning. Classical machine learning models don't have, they optimize the performance, but deep learning has more parameters. It can absorb more data. That is one. Third is the most important thing. That concept of architecture. So no machine learning model has a concept of architecture except neural networks. So when neural networks, inspired by the human brain in 1950s and 90s, so it has not shown a lot of promise earlier, because you can see the blue line is not so promising earlier, because the data is not huge, data is very small we have earlier. So the performance is not beating the classical machine learning. But now we have more amount of data, and also we have a compute power to handle the data, and more importantly, another beauty of deep learning, the third advantage which I am mentioning, is the architecture. If you understand entire AI research, if you see from the top, entire AI research from last 10-15 years revolving around this term called architecture. Okay, so how many of you heard about convolutional neural network? The people who are working image processing, etc. How many of you heard about the term LSTM, long term short term memory, or recurrent neural networks, that is famous for sequential information capturing? Okay, and how many of you heard about transformers, the recent game changer, LLMs are all based on transformers, self attention models. Okay, you know, so this deep learning, the neural network, the beauty of neural networks is it has a concept of architecture. Architecture is nothing but it's as simple as that how different neurons are connected to each other, how you come up with the architecture, how different neurons are connected to each other. So LSTM is one architecture, convolutional neural network is another architecture. You know, convolutional neural network is inspired from our signal processing, right? You all of you know, right? Convolution means filtering. Recurrent neural networks is inspired from our signal processing. Or if you know the advanced ARIMA, autoregressive and moving average concepts, you know, it is also similarly doing that. Okay, signal processing and deep learning, they are not too far away. Okay, okay. So the, you know, last 10-15 years people are coming up with different architecture. If you see in the earlier classical machine learning, for every problem we have separate set of models. For example, I want to do prediction of the future, time series problems like a stock prediction or some, you know, something like that. We have models called autoregressive model or ARIMA or variants of that. Okay, or if you want to do the normal classification, we use random forest or XGBoost or Gaussian mixture models, etc. Or if you want to do the sequence to sequence mapping, like machine translation, like one language text to other language text, or speech to text, sequence to sequence mapping problem, hidden Markov models. Hidden Markov models are very famous for that. Okay, but all of them are gone now because all of them are at the red line. They are not giving, because, but the beauty is that they have this. For example, hidden Markov model has the capability of sequence capturing, but it has the limitation. It's not reaching the performance what I want. Similarly, you know, most of the classical models, one model will set for one set of problem. Hidden Markov model I can't apply for all applications. AI has different applications, right? I'm not talking about domain. As AI as a problem, we have a classification, regression, time series forecasting, predictions, summarization. So different AI problems are there irrespective of the domain. So earlier we have one model or one or two models for each of these problems. But now thing is that forget about all those models. For everything the solution is the deep learning. Why you know, why one model can solve all the problems? Why one model can solve all the problems? Because all problems are not same, no? Because one is a classification problem, one is a prediction problem, one is a sequence to sequence mapping problem. So how is that happening is because the neural network has the concept of architecture. One architecture may not solve all the problems, but I can come up with the architecture which can solve the particular problem. So last 10-15 years what is happening is that people are coming up with new architectures and then other people are applying. And even in our communication, many places we will apply different neural networks, okay, to take the decisions, etc. Once we have a communication data to take the spectrum decisions or you know, any of these optimization decisions, we can use the neural network models. Okay, so the beauty of neural network is it has the concept of architecture. So if you see the image processing problems, convolutional neural networks is very famous. If you want to see the time series problems, LSTM is very famous because recurrent neural networks. Because earlier people thought that neural network can't do any of this time series forecasting because neural networks is mostly a discriminative kind of a model. But once the recurrent neural networks, the LSTM, the name itself is long term short term memory, LSTM, you know. So because of that architecture, it is able to capture the sequential information present in the futures. No, all these ARIMA, all these classical models are gone. Okay. Similarly, one support vector machine used to be very famous for image processing earlier. That is gone with convolutional neural network. And hidden Markov model is again gone with the recurrent neural networks like LSTM, BiLSTM, etc. Now the game changer is a transformer. So now how the field evolved is that, so if you can see the amount of data is more, then performance is more. What if my amount of data is less? What if my amount of data is less? Still I can stick with this classical machine learning model on 50-60 performance only, or can I do something? So then people thought of transfer learning. It's a neural network is inspired by human, no? If you don't know anything, what you will do? If in front of the exam you don't know what you will do? discuss with the friend or somebody who already learned, you go and learn from him. Same thing, transfer learning. Your friend will transfer his knowledge to you. Similarly, transfer learning. So what people done is that, okay, for example, I want to classify the buildings in Aditya College. Okay, but how many buildings? Maybe some 20 buildings. I may get some 1000 images, not more than that. Then what I will do? I will use a neural network, not from scratch. I will take some neural network, convolutional neural network, which is trained with lot of data, 1 lakh images, 10 lakh images. Okay, take that network and adapt to this small data. They are working. That's called transfer learning. So pre-trained model. You train the model already, neural network model already with the huge data, and adapt it to the particular data. That is working better. So you can't say that I have amount of data is less, I will use classical machine learning, because why don't you use the transfer learning approach? So already network is trained with some data, adapt that with the data. Now that era is also gone, transfer learning is also gone. And now the era is that self-supervised approaches or transformer based approaches, or LLM, for example. LLM is similarly we have a speech LLMs, etc. Thing is that you also know that, right, in a machine learning we have two kinds of things, like a supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning means we already know the labels. For example, data and label we already have. Okay, that you are training a model with the data and a particular label. So the model goal is to, whenever I give a test case, it has to predict what is that, what label it is. Okay, but unsupervised learning means I don't know how many labels are, how many classes are there, I don't know. I will assume maybe some 5 classes, 10 classes, and I cluster the data. I cluster the data into different bins. Whenever something comes, then I will see which this data is closer to which cluster. Okay, we can also cluster entire, let us say Aditya University has some 10,000 students. We can also cluster based on the marks or based on something, we don't know, because the entire data is there. We can ask a model to cluster it to 5 bins. We want to see different set of students in a different bins. Okay, when our new student comes, based on his performance or something, we can put into one of the bins. Okay, that is unsupervised learning. Okay, the advantage of unsupervised learning is that we don't need labels. But supervised model needs labeled data. Okay, now the next what has come is the semi-supervised approach. That means also kind of self-supervised approach. What is that? Is start your journey with the unlabeled data. Then after some stage you fine tune that model with the labeled data. Okay, so unlabeled data, for example, you take speech data. Huge amounts of data is there in the YouTube. There may not be, for speech recognition we need a speech file and corresponding verified text. That creation is a problem, because for 1 hour of creation we need 5,000 rupees. Somebody has to listen the speech and write the text out of it. Okay, instead, we have done a project on Telugu with 1.2 crores collecting 2,000 hours of Telugu data. We collected 2,000 hours of Telugu data, we spent 1.2 crores. So everybody may not get that huge amount of money to build a speech recognition, right? So now how to reduce that? Now what people have done is that, our vocabularies may be different languages may have different vocabularies, but thing is that most of the sounds like vowels, consonants are similar across the languages, right? And anyway we are recognizing those only to make the words, etc. So what people have done is that, combine the some 50 languages, make some 50,000, 60,000 hours of data, and use the LLM, speech LLM like wave to vec. Okay, that is that no labels, nothing. The goal of that is that mask the waveform and try to predict that. From the data itself it will train by itself. Self-supervised approach, no need of any labels. Self-supervised approach, you learn like that with the huge amounts of data, and then fine tune with the, if I have now 100 to 200 hours of data, I will get very good accuracy. No need of 2,000 to 3,000 hours of data. Earlier one point of time Google has 10,000 to 1 lakh hours of data to give very good recognition accuracy. But now replication of that by a startup or a small companies are not easy, because we can't collect such an amount of data. That requirement is also reduced now. Now good part, why AI, people have to go for AI and other things is that even with less data we can get high accuracies now because of self-supervised approach. Already pre-trained models, already on unlabeled data, already trained, people are releasing that. So you can take that, you don't need to start from scratch, take that and try to fine tune with the amount of data what you have, and then you are getting the accuracy. So earlier, building the APIs of a speech or other things is not possible except using Google or Microsoft or Amazon APIs. Now it's possible that even students or startups can build our own APIs. Okay, that's how this AI is moving. You understand? I gave overview of how AI is moved. Why people jumped from classical machine learning to deep learning? Because of the performance. Because of the performances. Okay. And again, the architecture, term architecture dominated majority of the models. People thought that initially when neural networks getting famous, they didn't thought that the hidden Markov model will go off. Hidden Markov model has a shelf life of 20-25 years. Some applications like machine translation, speech recognition, people use hidden Markov model more than 20 years. But neural network came and thrown away. Last 4 or 5 years, or maybe last 10 years at large, but last 4 or 5 years especially, many things have changed actually. Many things have changed, significantly changed. And more importantly, some of the problems are getting solved. We have to find new research problems. Anyway, I will talk on that research part little later. So different architectures have come up initially, then transfer learning, and then self-supervised learning. Like that, this field is moving very fast. This field is moving very fast. Okay. So so in that way, you can see deep learning has an applications of business optimization, speech recognition, image classification, NLP, chatbots, personalized recommendation, prediction, anomaly detection, fraud detection, drug discovery. Even during the COVID time, AI is heavily used, right, to predict the next waves, or to say how to even for the drug discovery and this vaccination discovery. Many places AI is used. Autonomous vehicles, video analytics. So AI is nothing to do with computer science or any branch. Everywhere, being a computer science or a EC or civil engineer or mechanical engineer, or a business person, not even engineering person, medical persons, everybody has to, fortunately or unfortunately, should not be a layman in AI. Because this field is very promising in at least some applications. So we should not, it is like, the best example is calculator, right? All of you calculator. When calculator is introduced in the 30-40 years back, people thought that all accountants will lose the job. With all these things will happen. No, the accountants didn't lose their job, right? We already and again it's a if calculator is available, I don't use calculator. I will do only with my hand calculation. Is also not correct, right? So AI is like that now. AI is like that. It will help you and enhance the things. So you should not avoid AI and do, and some people thought that AI will go off. It's like a passing cloud. Let us go with the conventional way only. That is not going to work. I don't say that AI will do everything, or AI is like a something, but it has an influence. It has the influence. So we should not be layman in AI. In communication, for example, you see in the EC. In 6G communication, you see, just type in the Google role of AI in 6G, lot of role is there. Okay, everything has to happen on a communication, Edge AI. So VLSI also required AI, because one aspect is that how AI algorithms can be landed on our VLSI circuits or edge devices. Other thing is that even our VLSI design, parameter design, instead of deriving, can AI model give the you have to design, chip design or anything, or a fabrication, layout design, etc. Can we use AI to get our design done instead of we designing, right? And even in communication, there is I usually attend this conference called ICAS, which is a top conference in signal processing and communication. They have separate sessions now, AI in communication. Okay, people are now designing the enhancement of the signals, and decoding of the signals, demodulation of the signals using AI. In future, your receivers may be replaced with AI models. Okay. So that's how this field is moving. Okay. So in that way, we should not be, many wherever you need prediction, wherever you need something, that's where you can use AI once you have a data. Okay. I'm skipping this. As I said, right, the advantage of neural network model is that more number of parameters. So if you have more, if you have more data, more, the deep, why the term deep has come, if you use more number of layers, more number of parameters, that's what they are calling it as deep learning. Okay. So number of epochs means number of times you will train the model. Okay. And in this activation function also, earlier people used to use tan hyperbola, basically to capture the nonlinear relations between input and output. They used to use tan h function, but now the famous functions is ReLU. Okay, ReLU activation function is a game changer again. Okay, and similarly, what last function you use? Learning rate, batch sizes, because so many people are working on this deep learning. So instead of you trying so many parameters, you can start with something which is already proven. For example, some data, similar data, you have some set, you take some 5 number of layers and this many neurons, and this activation function is good and this last function is good. You can try with, otherwise each and everything is, we have to try with trial and error. Okay. Batch size means batch size also a parameter which will influence the performance. Batch size means, for example, I have a 5 class problem. I am building a network with 5 class problems. So we don't, while let us say one time I am training, I don't show class 1 example to the network, all class 1 example, then all class 2, then all class 3, like that we don't show. We'll show batch by batch. Okay, from class 1 you take some 100 examples, class 200 examples, show them, then again take another example, show them, so that network won't be biased. If you show only one one class at a time, all examples of class 1, all examples of class 2, like that, it will be get biased. It's like human brain also, if you are tuned with something, you will do same thing, it is difficult to change again, right? Similarly, network, how much batch size you should take, that is also play a role actually. Okay, similarly different, all these things will play a role. So that is a one way disadvantage for the neural network. If at all we have issues with the deep learning, two things: explainability, and lot of this, people are trying with lot of these parameters, lot of carbon wastage, lot of GPU power we are wasting, everything. If somebody is running a GPUs means it's because to support the GPU, lot of environment, we have to give lot of power and AC support and all other things, right? You may be not seeing the direct pollution, but each of these AI algorithm running creates lot of pollution actually. So there is also a field now started as a green AI. Okay, whether wow. Optimizer will come later once you get the performance done. So you want to optimize the parameters. Let us say 1 lakh parameters have given this much performance. How can I optimize these parameters so that equivalent performance will come? That is another layer. Maybe it may be required for edge AI, because before deploying the model all these parameters are required, or can I optimize those parameters? Or even let us say 1 or 2% accuracy less is also fine for me, but can I optimize the parameters by half? Or or quarter of it. That is another level of problem, another level of research which is already happening. Okay, optimizing the model. Okay, so explainability and why these many parameters. For example, in the healthcare, for example in the critical application, like for example in the defense, I want to use this application for the for detecting the target vehicle. For example, my model is saying this is the target vehicle, bomb it. But what is the chance that this is our own vehicle? Even if you have a chance of 0.001, we can't take the risk, right? We need to know why model is predicting this as a target vehicle, right? That is required. So that's where this has some limitation that right now it is overhyped that AI will do everything, but it has its own limitations. Okay. But we never know. This field is moving very, very fast. We can't say that this maybe AI can't do this. We can't say right now because of the way AI is advancing. Okay. So my area of research is mainly on speech communication. Basically, if speech has a lot of this information. So how to use artificial intelligence to extract this information? Okay, how to use artificial intelligence to extract this information? So I think all of you, let us say I speak. Let us say I am from Hyderabad. Let us say I use one sentence. I am from Hyderabad. Your brain is giving a lot of information, right? I am saying one message. Who is saying? If you know my name, the speaker information, what language I am using, what emotion I am in, what may be my age roughly. All these things can be extracted by your human brain. Whether you are using it or not, your brain will understand all this, right? So we want machine to understand that. We want machine to understand, like Alexa, right? So we want machine to understand. If we want to, the main important thing is this too. Actually, main important applications of speech is speech recognition and speech synthesis, which all of us are using. Speech recognition and speech synthesis. Speech recognition, like voice based searching or Alexa or Siri, whenever you are using, that is speech recognition, speech to text conversion, because main goal of speech is to make human computer interaction as natural as possible. Okay, because machines understand text, human more natural thing is speech, right? Human more natural, because in a country like India, how many crores we have population? 150 plus or something, right? More than 40 to 50 crores of population, they don't even now know how to read and write. Okay, but they can survive because they know how to speak, at least the mother tongue. So that is the power of speech. Speech, everybody God has gifted, unless the people have disability, right? So thing is that if you want, everything is there in the internet nowadays, right? But it is not, the information is not going to the right person at the right time, because for example, farmer want to access some information, he can't type something in English and get that information, or even in Telugu they can't type. But if let us say you ask in Telugu, okay, and you get the response, just like Alexa, Alexa, you ask Alexa and get the response also from Alexa, right? If you ask Alexa, what is the weather in Hyderabad, it will say 30 degrees or something, that is speech recognition and speech synthesis. Whatever you are saying, Alexa is converting speech to text and getting the answer using natural language processing, text processing, and then it is replying back, that is text to speech. Okay, so in Google Maps also you will use text to speech, right? Because when you are driving, it will say go straight for 5 kilometers and turn right, turn left. All that is a synthesis technology, speech synthesis, because maps has the information in the form of text. That will be using artificial intelligence, we convert that into speech. Okay, similarly, everybody's speech is unique. We can also identify speaker information or emotion information from the speech. Okay, so there are the different applications, but right now a lot of work is going on in the Indian context, that the main problem what India working in the speech field and text field is now is speech to speech translation. Have you heard the term Bhashini? Maybe you might have not heard. There is a national translation mission is going on. The Prime Minister Office and Department of IT is doing a big project. IIIT is also part of it, very much part of it, and the big project goal is speech to speech translation. You might have seen the problem. Let us say Prime Minister Modi he comes to any part of, let us say he comes to Andhra or here. If he speaks in Hindi, many of the people who attended won't understand, right? Right. That's why if you observe, we always learn at least 1 or 2 Telugu sentences, or wherever he goes, that local language sentence, 1 or 2 sentences you learn and speak, because it's a pain for somebody. I am speaking something now, most of them won't understand. For example, what he will speak, right? The emotion won't come. That's why at least to cheer up the people, he will use 1 or 2 sentences in the local language. So his dream, people like him, language is a barrier in India. Because if you go to China or some countries, it may be only one language across the country, but we have so many languages in India, 23 languages, 22 official languages. Apart from that, we have so many thousands of languages are there. At least the major languages are 22 plus English. So in that, can we do the speech to speech translation? For example, I am speaking in Hindi, with a few seconds of delay, if I put a headphone, can I listen it in the whatever the target language what I want. For example, I am speaking in Telugu, can I select English and listen, or Hindi and listen? That is the technology people are working on. Okay, or you might have, faculty might know, there is a Swayam lectures and NPTEL lectures, right? Converting, now they are trying to convert English into Indian languages. 1 hour of data converting Indian English to local language will take more than 6 to 8 hours of time, and the compensation given is, I heard, is like 6,000 rupees or something. So it's not worth, right? It's not scalable also. For each lecture, if you need 1 hour, required 8 hours. So how to you can't replace the human, but how can you reduce that 6 to 8 hours into maybe 2 hours? Whatever, let us say you give the video file, I will convert that English video into English text, and then somebody quickly verify the errors and give it a machine translation. It will convert into target. Let us say Telugu text has come. Again, let us correct it quickly and then use a synthesizer, synthesizer to do this. And in long run, what is the goal? If you ask, speech recognition is kind of solved now. Speech synthesis is available. Many things are available now. What is the future research problem? One is speech to speech translation. That is a little bit long way to go. And other thing is that, after 4 or 5 years, can you dream that I'll give a movie, can it be automatically dubbed? The target language. Okay. So that's because the English movie dubbing requires more things, right? Because lip syncing, emotions, modulations of the voice, It's like a railway announcement. If you use railway announcement as one example of a synthesis, but if you we can't use railway announcement kind of thing for movie dubbing, right? Actors, modulations, everything is important. So that's how that field, again, this field is also moving very fastly using AI. Okay. So these are some of my applications, but these are available. You can look into it because it requires microphone to. Does it have microphone? నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. Oh, it is there. It has come. It has come. వచ్చింది. No, don't. No, ఏం చేయదు. Okay. So this is a good, you can test it. This is available asr.triplet.ac.in is one of my project outcome. So except the domain terms, it reasonably works very well for Telugu speech recognition. Okay. Similarly, we have something called this Podumakkal Mahati Anusara Teliyadu. So we first one is not came properly. So we use one system. Can it recognize multiple languages? Because code mixing is very common in India, right? Because we can't even speak 1 minute in Telugu because we'll mix up English terms and other terms. So similarly, can we also do this code mixing? This is actually Tamil, Gujarati and Telugu mixed system actually. Okay. So Mahati Anusara is Gujarati term came, the Padumakkal, whatever I told in the Tamil, it has not came, and Teliyadu has come in Telugu. So similarly, what right now with one of my PhD student, what I am working is, I don't have demo right now here, but the thing is what we are doing is that spoken language translation. So with the single system, what we are trying to achieve now is that it's reasonably good accuracy. What has come is that, you have seen now, right? I am speaking in Telugu or whatever, and text has come. Similarly, what now we have a system is that you speak in Telugu, Hindi text will come. Up to 8 pairs of languages we have, Telugu to Hindi, like that, some pairs of 8 pairs of Indian languages. You speak in the source speech and you will directly get the target text. Okay, so that your translation become, then if you use the synthesizer, then your translation is ready. For example, somebody is in Oriya, speaking in Oriya, you are not able to understand. Okay, if you use our system, you will get the Telugu text. If you want, you can read, or you want a speech out of it, give it to synthesizer, you will get a speech out of it. Okay. So going forward, to reduce the language barriers, this technology is getting used actually. Apart from this, I also work on speech pathology. Okay, so because now this this kind of speech recognition etc. also there in with Google, Microsoft, all these people, right? Better systems are already there. So what going forward, what research I should do from last 6-7 years, I shifted some of my energy into speech pathology. So stutter detection. So somebody's speech is given, if speech is a normal speech or a stuttered speech, or if it is a stuttered speech or any disorder speech, what level of disorder it is, low level, medium level, high level. So like that, very, very interesting problems are there. Yesterday also one doctor came and we discussed, if somebody has a kidney problem, that also affects your speech. chronic kidney diseases also expects, you will be reflected in your speech. So we are trying to start a research that how to analyze a speech to predict the potential cause of, potential, because if anybody want to detect the kidney disease, it requires lot of tests. People may not go until they feel the lot of symptoms, they may not go to the hospital. So beforehand, maybe can we come up with a low cost solution that, based on the speech analysis, can we flag a red flag that, oh, okay boss, you may get kidney disease maybe after a few years, your things are not good, why don't you go and check it out, like that. And another thing is that once our kidney problems comes in India, the dialysis, another kidney, next stage is the dialysis. Dialysis is very, very poor in India. Actually, the survival rate is very, very less, and even they survive, they won't survive more than 1 year, 2 years, like that. More than 1.5 year survival is very, very less. So because the problem is the dialysis is not happening properly. So the quality of dialysis also can be analyzed with the speeches what the doctor is suggesting, saying that, we can also, because dialysis adequacy of dialysis is a problem. Adequacy of dialysis again can be done with different tests again, but again using the speech can we come up with a low cost solution, because speech collection won't take much time, right? Nothing, so one microphone is good enough to get the data. So can we see some characteristics of that and see, can we predict the adequacy of dialysis or kidney? So which I never heard of that, unless doctors mention, we don't have that knowledge that, their speech gets affected, because. So another interesting thing is that, any of these speech recognition sensors, these are the frontline problems which also requires huge amount of data and compute power and other stuff. And these problems, especially these pathology problems, we can use a lot of our signal processing knowledge, and our conventional knowledge and little bit of machine learning as well, AI as well, and can be very interesting solutions, because many times, again, thing is that I also towards that, in the entire talk I am trying to price the deep learning and AI, right? But sometimes, my intention is not that. My intention is that deep learning is very promising, doing very good things. But thing is that wherever required, only use the deep learning. If not, if the problem is what is people, let us say deep learning is like a big stick. Even for ant killing also people are using big stick, right? Big stick is required for big things to handle, right? Not for small things, because as that is there, people are using. Again, not the right utilization of the resources. So in that way, we can solve those problems in a lesser cost and less computation and less resources. So in that way also, we can our conventional signal processing and other approaches can be used. Okay. Yeah. So most of my work, my work related demos, you can see, this is my website. In that, there is something called research demos and presentations. Today's presentation is also there in introduction to deep learning. Okay, you can click on this, it will open, and my talk on AI and ML and speech and this ASR demo, everything is available here. And these are my publications. So if you are interested, these are all my different journal and conference publications, if you are interested. So I will. So is there any break now or? Huh? 11:15 break. Okay, just to start, give some preamble for the next session. So I studied my BTech from Nastropata Engineering College. How many of you know Nastropata Engineering College? Have you heard? Okay. In 2001 to 5. 2001 to 5 I studied there. I don't know what is research, I don't know what is, even I don't know what is MTech, GATE exam, nothing I know. My brother is studying in Godlola Engineering College, that time my elder brother. So he cracked GATE and he was in IIT Roorkee. So he told me that GATE is there, and then I done my MTech through GATE in NIT Kurukshetra. During that time, I understand that I want to do PhD. I want to come for teaching. That is my that is there in my mind from the beginning, because my father is a teacher. So I want to come to a teacher, but I don't have a clarity that for research, for that teaching we need to do research, PhD, etc. I don't have a clarity, but somehow I have a feeling that I want to be teacher. Then I was there in NIT Kurukshetra, and then I with the family pressure and other thing, I joined in software after my masters for some time. Then it's then again I am not able to enjoy that and came to teaching, and then went to research. Okay, but still lot of questions, lot of mind, because lot of things in the brain. But when I started my journey, my PhD in 2008 in IIT Kharagpur, 2009, I guess 2009 summer, Professor Farooq Mistry, he thrown a, I got a, mail that the title of the talk is Ultimate Job in the World is Research Faculty. The ultimate job in the world is research faculty. So, okay, so it is more connected to me. Okay, he's saying. I went and attended, I spent some time with them. So that experience and my experience with research I will share after the break. Okay, because the thing is that the ultimate thing in the world, which many of us don't know. Okay. More interestingly, our neighbor country China knows it. From last 10-15 years, the research outcome, why this ANRF they has to give funding, why I have to go wake up in the morning and come here all the way and spend time here, is not to just your college will get some certificate or you get some certificate. It's not the goal. The goal of this kind of workshop is to give you the exposure to the latest technologies, and more importantly, excite you towards the research. Excite you people towards the research. Because anybody know what is research? Anybody knows what is research? The interesting thing is that not only in the research, many things in the life, we also have something called value education or something in our IIIT. I also lead that effort some part. So we are in a situation that we have knowledge on what are all not needed. We have a lot of knowledge on that. Whatever is needed, we don't have any knowledge. Coming into the research or education, in many aspects, exactly what is not needed is what we eat, right? You see your day, in a day, you see what all you are eating, and you search in, all of you have LLM access, no, search it. You maybe not even 10% of it is not required. What you are worrying, what you are eating is not needed. Okay. Similarly, in the job none of the people, most of the people don't tell you, or may not give you a right motivation for things. Okay. So at least I don't have exposure on that in my childhood. By luck or by grace, I am in the track, and luckily by 27 or something I completed my PhD. I am done my PhD by 27 or 28 age. So my thing is that I want to motivate on some. At least I want to give you the exposure that what is research, what is this, what is this ball game, as an individual, as a society, as a country, how we will get benefit out of this is what I like to talk after the break. Okay. Any questions on the initial part? Okay. So don't think that the summary of that is that don't think that AI will do. AI is more of computer science, etc. AI is required for everybody. And especially if you know the different architectures of a neural network and how to run them and how to things, there are jobs available. Okay. Similarly, we no need to stop with that. As a EC engineer, you try to see how to port those algorithms on AI. how to port those AI algorithms on hardware. That is edge AI is a very popular topic. So as your BTech projects, etc. I think many of your projects, you see your senior projects, they may not know AI, but most of their projects will be revolved around AI only. They will take some CNN model, this model, that model. Maybe some people may do on VLSI and something, but majority of the people will do on blind execution, because GitHub codes are available, computer is available, just download and run. But we may not know what is in and out, but it is good to know. If you know in and out, then the jobs will be available. Okay, yeah, we'll have a break and then come back.
Let's have a tea break for 10 minutes and reassemble here after 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, చెప్తాను వచ్చేస్తాను కాన్ఫరెన్సెస్ స్పీచ్. This one is good and ఇది గూగుల్లో కొడితే వచ్చేస్తుంది. Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, this session is like a more like my experience and kind of motivation towards research. Okay, so yeah, before going to this, actually, this conference, IEEE International Conference on Acoustic, Speech and Signal Processing, this is one of the topmost conference in this field, actually, in the field of speech, communication and other stuff, signal processing especially. This is as old as, this is the 50th edition actually, somewhere in the, somewhere in the, yeah, it is mentioned, it is 50th edition actually. So, usually these conferences won't is not easy to bring back to India actually. So this first time happened in 50 years. We can imagine in the 50 years is the first time happened in India with a lot of effort, because this conference at least 3 years from 2022-23 onwards we worked for this conference. I am also part of this local organization as it happened in Hyderabad. Why I am connected, you know, can you read this sentence? You know this. Thank you for attending ICAS 25 main conference in Hyderabad, and satellite event is happening in China. If you are interested, you come and attend. So why it happened like that means this conference has got 6,000 around 6,000 papers. So because it's a very top conference, so the order of around 6,000 papers have come. Okay, and this Professor Hari and Matthews, these are the general chairs. So can you imagine which is the country who has submitted more papers out of these 6,000? Can you guess how many papers they might have submitted? Okay, not that much. I think world has many other countries, right? This international conference means truly international conference, because all over the world this is a famous conference. Okay, 2,600 papers they have submitted. 2,600 papers. Out of that, 1,300 papers got accepted. 1,300 papers got accepted. Okay. Next highest is US. How many papers they submitted? Any idea? 385. How many papers India submitted? Any idea? As it is happening in India, we submitted 260 paper, 263 or something, exactly 10% of China. And our acceptance rate is much less. As madam said, only 82 papers got accepted. I think 12 papers from IIIT itself with different labs. I have 5 papers like that. So entire India has submitted only 260 papers, and China has submitted 2600 papers, and 1300 got accepted. And why I am telling this one, Indian government has not given visa to any of them. Any of these 1300 paper others, they have not given visa because of India-China issue. Because this 1300 also overwhelming for them, these many Chinese, they don't want to, they asked us, we have to, for all these conferences, we have to get a permission from Ministry of Resources and other people. So we sent a list that, 2000 others names are there in the China, others, so they suspect these many people, they don't want to enter into India. Not only that, they have not given visa to any Chinese who are, let us say, US is a China professor in US, they also didn't got visa. And now see the influence, that's why I asked you to read that and see the influence. They conducted one more conference in China. But the same organizers, because 1300 registrations, right, around 1500 registrations are there, to satisfy them, they conduct again conference in China. That is the power of China, because of their research outcome. Okay, so they are the new boss of the world. All of you mean, who is America is already gone, right? I think all of you know, right? The way Trump is behaving is a sign that they are gone, right? Because he has no alternatives. He is not. How many think that Trump is doing wrong? He is doing correct. He is doing actually correct because he has no option to keep, whatever the, he also knows, I guess, that, he can't do much beyond some years of dominance. He can't survive because, if that much outcome is there from countries like China, the new boss of the world, then he can't compete with that. He want to bulldoze with all earlier agreements, earlier things that he want to retain. You can see him, wherever some wars happened, even his presence is there or not, he is claiming that he has stopped that. Because he still want to say that he is the boss of the world. That is not true actually. At least we know the India-Pakistan issue, right? He has not done much, but he is claiming that he has stopped the war. But claiming that at least a few countries believe that, he is still the boss of the world, but that is not the case. That is not the case. With the research, China has overtaken the US. Okay, and they started only this game only 15 years back. 15-20 years back. With 15-20, similarly in 2006 or 7 when 6th pay commission happened, in India also research started. But we are in the reverse direction, they are in the forward direction. Any top conference you take, the majority of chunk of papers are from them. If you see the least papers, the useless papers of research, if you take, sorry to say this, the top country is India. Problem is not, I am not blaming anybody. The problem is, we don't know what is research. We don't know what is research. That is the problem. Okay. So, another thing is that 2600 papers only in my area, one of the areas, and because that is a news for me 1 year back only, because I am not part of this kind of conferences, top organization, all these details I don't know earlier. But by seeing this I got mad that, what is this 2600 papers, one country, all this, I went and discussed with my senior colleagues. They are saying all conference, that is the scenario from last 2-3 years. 40% of the paper, 30 to 40% of the papers are from China. Any recognitions, any research outcome, if you see I recently seen the IEEE fellows, November only they announced the IEEE fellows. IEEE fellow is the ultimate recognition of IEEE. IEEE, all of IEEE student member, anybody can become. Senior member, few people. Fellow is the ultimate thing. I have seen the list of 40 pages this year across the world who got the, that is accessible in IEEE. You can also go and see IEEE fellows. 40% of them are Chinese. Okay. So you may say, what is the problem? So you know, we may say made in India, make in India, all these things, something is happening, you know, that is fine. But if you close the doors of China, we can't survive. They will declare a war against us, or they will ask Pakistan to start the war. They will support Pakistan. We are gone. We can't close the window of China, doors of China. Why they will do is they are not friends of us, but they still do something because potential market is here. You can see on the road, at least in Hyderabad, I see 1 out of 10 cars is from China. Cars, okay, and many other products. Okay, as potential market is there in India, they are quiet. If we close the doors, we can close the door potentially if you can handle them. We can close the door when if we have a self-sustaining things and handle that. If Ukraine-Russia war comes, we are affected because we have to get chip from Ukraine or Russia. Something we have to get from somewhere. We are all depending on other countries. You may ask, what is this research? Why is this impact? Why am I getting salary? I am doing something. You know, all these things happening. Why I have to worry? You know, you have to worry. Everybody has to worry. You know, because we always have a mindset of survival, or or do something. We are not understanding the ultimate thing. Actually, Chinese are very poor in English, compared to India, but very poor in other things. But they substantially improved their English skills, mathematics skills, and the kind of quality. Do you think that 2,600 papers coming from China? Do you think that only top institutes of China are doing research? I don't think so. Many people are started doing research. Most of the people are started doing good research. Okay, so it is very important to do quality research. Again, this to be frank, I am not faulting anybody, but to be frank, the problem is research is not introduced in a right way to India. Okay, it is connected with the 6th Pay Commission, and if you want to get a pay high, you have to do research. But actually, research is not that. Okay, all people can't do research. All faculty need not do PhD. Okay, but anyway, now they understood, and they recently removed UGC. If you see, last couple of years back, they removed the requirement of PhD for the faculty position, because we are going in a reverse direction rather than the forward direction. Okay, because because the ultimate goal of research is creating the new knowledge, not patent, paper, this, that, are the subtasks or byproducts of research. But the main, what is research? Research means creating the new knowledge. What is research means? Research means creating the new knowledge. Why it is ultimate thing in the world? I am saying ultimate job in the world is research faculty. Why that? Anybody, any guesses? Some youngsters are also there. What is ultimate job in your view? Working in Apple, Google, Microsoft, right? That is nothing but a dignified labor job. Working in a software or a Microsoft or Google, or even getting a package of 1 crore or 50 lakhs, you are a costly labor, not more than that. Right? Because you can't decide what you want to do. Right? And problem is there. I am not saying that is not a great job, that is not a job. That is a job. But that is not the ultimate job, is what I am saying. Okay? The ultimate job in the world is to create the new knowledge through research and ground it. So for example, in 1950s when Hinton and few people in 1950s, what they dreamed about neural networks. Some of them who have dreamed about neural networks might have already died, and they are not there. See the impact now. Right? How many of you know, this is a common question I will ask, how many of you know your grandfather? How many of you know your father? Grandfather? No chance, right? No chance. That's why sometimes we'll put their names to our kids, etc., so that at least the name will be remembered. Now that is anyway, the names are fancy names, right? Now, right? That means our life Our life within our family itself has no value after one generation or two generations. But how many of you know who invented telephone? Why we remember? That is because they invented something and grounded the knowledge and people are using that. That is the power of research. Transistors, Bell Labs, all of you know Bell Labs, right? They are famous for their research, but anyway they subsequently not able to sustain the things, but through research they have done wonderful things, Bell Labs, right? So that is the impact of research. The research, once you create the new knowledge and ground it, it will be, we don't know when, this companies etc. is a problem is in hand, we are trying to solve it, whether you are creating a new solution or not, we are not worrying, whatever is there in the problem we are solving. That is the company level. But research is that try to understand what is already there and try to give a new solution. That new solution will be used now or after 10 years or 20 years, we don't worry. Our goal is to create a new knowledge. Okay. So the impact of this is in long run. Okay, no, long run. So so you understand why I'm saying our ultimate job. So another example is that why people running after AI. People let us say industry. For example, industry trucks. Some technology saturation come. Where they will go? They will go to research labs only. There are situations when AI is introduced. Entire lab of the university itself is acquired by companies. When AI revolution has come in US and few other countries, in Europe also, few of the labs, including faculty, they give 10 times salary and entire lab is taken over by the industry. Because any time compared to companies etc., research labs run by companies like Bell Labs earlier, or the research lab, or the good university, any university who are doing a real good research, those are the ultimate things in the world compared to any of the companies. Because in many examples are there, many of these people are consultant to the big company. I told the Professor Raja Reddy, right? He has a direct access to Satya Nadella because most of those Microsoft people is all his students. Whenever they are stuck or sometimes they strategy plan, they will come and discuss with these kind of people. Because when somebody who are doing research, they will have a long-term vision, right? So, okay. So the ultimate job is why faculty again. So research is one thing. Again, research faculty. Why? Because along with my research, I am also training and using that knowledge for my students. I am not only teaching from my book, but with my research, I am teaching. Okay. So that's why if any faculty who are doing a research, good quality research is the ultimate job in the world. Okay. So another few points is that another problem what is happening in India is research, right? What is the spelling of research? You remove RE. Research. So if you take 8 characters of the research, 6 characters is research only. That means in your entire research, if you want to do research, 60 to 70% of the time you need to put on search. Then research will come. Remember this sentence. Research has no meaning. Some of these are my things that it will remember. You can remember for long. Research has no meaning if your search is wrong. That is what exactly happening. Why only 260 papers from India? Why we don't have confidence to put into the right conference from India? Because our search is wrong. Okay, if your search is wrong, you can't. What is the meaning of research? Right? You want to understand the existing knowledge to create the new knowledge. Okay. So anyway, this asking NBA, NAC, and all these people asking these many journals, fault is with them, accreditation agencies as well. People are unnecessary, unused, false race is what happening. But anyway, that is I am not worried about that. I don't want to say what is there. These are all passing clouds. But what is thing is that if you really do something new, it will stand. Okay. So. Yeah, I think I have written that sentence. Research has no meaning if your search is wrong. So I have listed some of these tips in the later slides also. If you want to do research, any topic, any of you. So how many of you heard of Web of Science or Scopus, Essay Index? Hala trash. Why we are, see, I think I will show you, there is one paper by Keshav that how to read a paper. There is a paper on how to read a paper, 2-page paper. Okay, that means, as I said, in research 70% of the time you have to spend on reading the papers, search part. So if your search is wrong, research has no meaning. No, that's why you need to know how to search. If you believe on Scopus and SC Index, maybe okay, but you may not reach to the ultimate goal. So if you want to watch a movie, what you will do? You will see the review. You will see who is the actor, who is the director. But why don't you do that while reading a paper? Why we have to use Google or SCA Index or Scopus Index? See the others, right? See the others. If they are credible, read it. Otherwise, don't read it. No. If they are not, and all of you want to see the good movie, right? Ultimate movie you want to spend. Similarly, try to see, all movies released we don't see, right? We'll see the which passes your threshold. Similarly, put a high threshold. I don't read the papers, I don't want to read the papers, which, even though I understand, not understand, doesn't matter. You should not read the papers of low quality. Because if you spend your time on that, you will miss that high quality one. So the easiest tip is that any area you can use Google for two things. One thing is that what is the topmost conference in my area? For example, in speech, interspeech and ICASP. These two are the ultimate conference in speech. Take that point. Second point, who are the good people in the world who are working in my area? These two things you can get that information from Google. Nothing else is required. Because even if you see that first answer, you get interspeech and ICAS, you can also see the others, who are the others of that, who are publishing in that. From there also you can see who are the people who are playing this game. Because you are, ultimately your goal is to play that game. Okay. But we are reading whatever comes from, whatever comes into, whatever comes, whatever Google says or whatever Scopus Index, all this is not ultimate thing. Ultimately is, there are so many kinds of movies, right? From Bahubali to some so many kinds of movies. So, but, if you want to do research, you need to see how to go to that top ones first, actually. So if you want to build up the confidence, let us say you can, initially why this discussion happened many times. I also argued with my IIT faculty and other people that, triple IT faculty, why you people, encouraging these kind of things, why don't you demonetize all these journals and conferences, etc. All this, many people knows that these are useless. But still, they are still think that, let them get that some confidence, let them see what is research, etc. But the problem what happened is that people stopped at that level only. They are not going to the next level. To go to the next level, then these people like Scopus, SCA conductor come into picture and say that you publish in my thing. Why I have to publish in Scopus all things? Why I want to publish in my ultimate area? That should be the goal. Ultimate, if I am making a movie, for example, right? I know, do I need to know where I need to release? I know if I am making a Telugu movie, I will release wherever Telugu people are there. That means if I do research, I know where are the people who are reading in my area. I should publish there. If I make a Telugu movie and put it in Tamil Nadu, what is the use? Right? I should know where to publish. I need to know where to publish. So when I will tell you one more tip. If any paper comes for me for a review, straight away I will go to the references. If references are of not high quality, I simply reject it. Go on. Because I told research has no meaning if your search is wrong. If you have not referred good papers, then what is the point of me spending time on that? Reject. References are very, very, very important. Whenever you are putting a paper to a particular conference, make sure that some of those conference papers are referred in the references, and also most of the other papers should be quality of that level or higher level. I am saying that all of you may not make Bahubali, that's fine. But at least, you should know what is Bahubali, and also our steps should be towards that. And, if not IEEE, you go to Elsevier or Springer, not beyond that. Okay, in this, and how many of you know the difference between journal paper and conference? Have you heard that these terms conference and journal? Heard? So conference means connections. Conference means, why people have started conference? Conferences means connections. So the people who are working in a particular area, this ICASP and interspeech, at least I will go, or I will ask my students to go and attend, because our presence, showing our presence. I will tell you my own example. During PhD, I didn't went to any interspeech and ICASP. I started my research in 2008 in speech. Because IIT goal is to get a transaction paper. In IEEE transaction, even if you get conference papers, you won't get degree. Transaction paper is required. So, and funding is also limited to attend the conference. So, I didn't attend the conference, international conference, and I published a few journals on IEEE transaction, etc. I got. Then I joined in IIIT. Other colleagues and other faculty are going, and it took me 17 is when I went to first time interspeech. 2017, I started 2008 my research, and I went 2017 first time I went to the international conference on this, because why I went that time also, interspeech is happening in India in 2018 in Hyderabad only with lot of difficulty. I also can play some role because it is happening in Hyderabad, because lot of big people are already there. So that time I am not a senior faculty. So to get the experience, I had 1 or 2 papers there and I attended there. Then I understand what I missed in my life, because you can meet the people. Actually, I told whomever you can meet every. What I observed is that every faculty in my area, at least in a year, they will attend either interspeech or ICASP. Top conference, who are all doing good research, they will show their presence because they will advertise their work. In 2007 I attended, 2018, 2017 I had some connection, 2018 I attended in Hyderabad. My student got postdoc in Brunel University because I shown my face in 2021 I got interspeech tutorial chair position. So visibility will come if you go and attend that conference regularly. I know some people who are working in my area, they knows me. Many things will happen. So that's why conferences are required for connections and sharing your knowledge, and so showing that yes, I thought that if you publish, people will recognize you have to show your face to conferences. And any of these conferences, for example ICASP or interspeech, attending will cost you 2 lakhs rupees. I attended up till now I think some 6-7 conferences. I have not taken any 1 rupee from my pocket. Okay, I managed through my funds, project funds or institute support. My institute will support in entire career only once, but I didn't yet use that one. I have managed, and also my students, at least in this my 13 years of career, at least 20 to 25 times my students have attended, maybe more than that, attended the conference. None of us put a rupee from our pocket, because Google supports. Even that conferences itself will support from countries like India, etc. They will take you as a volunteer and support the registration and other things, accommodation. Somebody will support the registration, somebody will support the travel. In Microsoft, Google. So ICASP you have seen, right? It's anywhere around 6 to 7 crores effort. That 4 or 5 days will cost you 5 to 6 crores of money. Okay, and maybe 3 crores or 4 crores will comes from others. Other comes from industry, because those who are working in that area will sponsor. Similarly, if they are sponsoring the conference, they also sponsor the students also. My students got TCS, Google, none of the students have put from there, because we can't put money for that, But why any of these, why I'm mentioning that we should not worry about the cost of the conference, attending conference, because some or other support will come. Okay, provided it is a top conference. Provided it is a top conference. Okay. So it is also privileged to attend that conference, so that all the people who inspire, all the people, books you have read, papers you have read, you can go and meet them and go on. go and meet the connection. All of you might have heard about Oppenheim, right? Oppenheim, that my MIT professor who written that signal processing. He attends every time ICASP. Okay, they may not remember us, but at least I met him couple of times in ICASP. So like that, the Douglas Chauncey. So some of the people whom you admire or whom you can go. It gives enormous confidence and the visibility. That is how conferences are there. But as conferences are involved money, why? Because as I said, that's an international event. It's like an international, kind of Oscar function for that area, right? Yeah, Oscar function also requires some money, right? Even nomination requires multi-crores. So similarly, this conference involves money, but if you are top conference, even government, Indian government also supports, DST, NRF, they also supports. Top conferences, you will get the funding. Okay. So that conferences are introduced every year because we can't go many. I always compare this research with the movie, because just for your understanding. Okay. So all may not attend Oscar function, so you also get different other award functions, no? So similarly, other conferences are at that level. Ultimately, every movie lover goes there, they want to go and get award in Oscar, right? Similarly, our goal is to go and attend top conference in our area. That should be, and every area will have 1 or 2 only, 2, 3, not more than that, because every time you can't travel 10 conferences, right? So everybody, around 2,000 to 3,000 people, sometimes even 4,000 people attend some big conferences, because that 4 day, not only the paper discussions, etc. Many things happens. That recruitment happens, project discussion happens, special groups happens. So much happens in that conference. Okay, so that is why conference. Money is involved. But I told research is the ultimate job in the world. Why money is linked with everything? Conference, unfortunately, money is involved. But is there any forum where I can publish my results or publish discussions, quality things without involving money? That's where journal has come out. Journal has come out saying that, sometimes if a conference, good conference papers, ICASP also, if you get a good conference, they also ask in the review that is it a potential that this paper can be extended to journal. We can say yes, then those others will be invited to write an extended paper for a IEEE signal processing journal or a audio speech journal like that. Extension version of your top conference paper or an independent good study. Usually conference paper have a page limit, 4 page, 5 page, because within the time you have to get a review and get it published. But journal paper, no page limit. You write on your own, explain your idea properly and submit, and no timelines usually. So you submit today, it may be after 2-3 months you will get a revision, and after that, I think somewhere I have mentioned that cycle. Yeah, journal you submit, and then you may get major revision or minor revision, and then resubmit, minor again revision. My IEEE transaction took 1.5 years for me to get it. First I submitted, rejected. And don't worry about rejections. From MIT to IIT to anybody, only our hit rate may be 30-40% only. If I send, this ICASP, I sent 9 papers last time. 2025, 4 or 5 papers got accepted, 5 papers got rejected. So it's common that rejections are quite common. People may not appreciate, or people will compare different ideas. Your idea is okay, but maybe not at that level. Okay. So journals are introduced, no page restrictions, no time limit. You submit any time. It take its own cycle because no money involved. So reviewers also will take their own time to get the review and then get it published. So that is the journal. And across the world, if you have one good journal paper in your own area, you are allowed to submit the thesis. I am not saying one journal work is enough for thesis. Typically kind of three, each chapter is equivalent to one journal kind of thing. But all may not get accepted within this 4-5 years of your research time, because one paper itself will take more than a year sometimes, 9 months, 8 months. So one accepted, other are in review or in the submission stage also fine. You are allowed to submit the PhD thesis. That is the journal. But so many fake journals have come with money and essay and scope. All these are not required. In the speech area itself, in my website, you see there are 30+ journals who are all free at different levels. You try with the JASA or IEEE is the ultimate ones, or Elsevier speech communication, etc. Next level, Springer, different areas. So IEEE is an ultimate one, or Elsevier is the next level. Springer is another level, because if you are not confident to put it in IEEE, put it in Springer. All our works also may not go to IEEE. All works, all students of mine may not be able to all Rajamoulis I may not get. No, I may get different kinds of students. So with good students I will publish there. With medium students I will try to publish in the Elsevier or Springer. Okay, these are all free, not below that. And all the journal are specific to speech. Editors are speech people, reviewers are speech people, even people also use them for literature review. Okay, as a faculty, it's not only the number of papers, you are also valued based on your H index. How many of you know H index? H index, okay. Again, we are all good to how to manipulate H index also. You cite my paper, I cite your paper, all those things. All blah blah things are there, That's why research ethics, ultimate job in the world, if you are doing, right, you should also follow some ethics, okay. So anyway, thing is that is the value of a journal, but the thing is that our accreditation agencies and other things, that how many journals you have. If a college don't have a PhD program, asking a journal is a crime. But accreditation agencies are doing, and who are cashing? All your hard earned money. Some people, they tell you send today, tomorrow acceptance, you have to pay 10,000. What is it? If you are making a movie and you are giving money to see, people have to give money and see our movie. Why? Ultimate thing, if you are really done a good research, why you have to pay money? Conference, yes, you have to pay money, because your conference is not just your paper. You are going and meeting, and it's a big thing happening. I saw ICASP and interspeech with my eyes. I saw, because both of them happened in Hyderabad. It's a multi-crore effort. Because biggies are 2,000, 3,000 people across the world has to come. You have to, that venue itself is 1.5 crores for 4 days. In 2018, when you hired HICC, Hyderabad International Convention Center, for 4 days the charges we paid is 1.5 crores. Okay, total money we collected that time is 4 crores or 4.5 crores. From registrations is only 1.5 to 2. Apple, Google, Microsoft, these people have given another 2.5 crores. Why it's such an event? Because it has to be of international standard. Okay, people has to come and feel those 4-5 days is like international experience. So that takes money, but most of the people across the world will get funding from government or some companies. They don't put from their projects, etc. They don't put their money from the pocket usually. Okay, so but journal should be free. Journal should be free of cost. I no need to accredit by SCI. I no need to accredited by Scopus. I need to accredit. Only one way of accreditation is that am I publishing in the paper in the area where I am working. If I am working on a speech, I should publish in a speech journal only. There ends the matter. Whether it is accredited or not, I don't worry. Did I read, while publishing that journal, we also need to see, as I said, am I referring those, why that journal has to accept my paper, am I referring some of their papers? Okay, because most of the time if you submit to that journal, good journal, it will go to the same authors. Your paper also will go to them for the reviews. If let's say if I publish in speech communication journal, if any paper comes, I will also ask them for my review. Similarly, see, reviewers are also authors of the earlier papers. So we need to see whether we can, whether my work is extends to other work. Can I refer some of those journal papers, or quality more than that journal paper? That is, references is the ideal way of, if you write a paper, I just see the references. Based on that, any thesis comes to me or everything comes to me, I will just see these references and why are they published. Okay, that will clarify your quality of the work. Okay, I know because of your pressure from many cases, many dimensions, you may be done whatever you have done, that's fine, but I am telling to say that what is the ultimate thing? At least you take a call that you do whatever you think, whatever you do, okay, you start from today that you prepare your CV and put the papers only you really worth of seeing. Other paper, you prepare another CV for the college point of view, fine. You prepare one more CV for your satisfaction when you retire, right? This is my CV to tell to your kids. No need to tell anybody. Tell to your kids. Your son and daughter should be proud of whatever 2-3 innovations you have done in your life. Rest of it, let this is done by somebody or maybe for the college sake or something, you keep it away. Okay, excuses are there for everything. Okay, nobody's life is smooth, right? So we may say so many things are there. I understand, if somebody is doing 10 papers in 3-4 years, fine, I will do 1 paper in 3 years, fine, but that is really come out of my mind. And also you target yourself that whatever area you are working in your career, at least once you should attend that conference. If it happens in India or nearby Asian country, with a little effort you can try. So if you go and attend, then you will get lot of enthusiasm, feeling, and at least you can transfer that energy to your friend, your colleagues and your students, and your kids, so that they get motivated. Okay. So again, so this is important for life also, but more important for research. So in research, this is the one follows actually. Always we worry about how to implement the things, right? If somebody says deep learning, somebody says something, we'll all worry, I don't know this, I don't know that, or something. We always worry about how to execute the things, right? But more important is why I'm doing that problem. Before doing any research or a project, first question that why I'm doing that. Is it needed? Is it a problem good? Is it a problem worthy? And more importantly, are you interested? Okay, those are the key. Let us say I want to work on speech, for example. Okay, by the way, I tell my example. I didn't spend time on this. Why? I am at 22 or 23 years when I joined my PhD. I don't know what is why I chosen speech. I don't know. Why I chosen speech, I don't know. But I am happy that I am in that area and I am enjoying. But if I tell all my students whoever comes to me also, first decide why you want to do in speech. My first question, if anybody want to come for research, I will ask, why you want to do. It should not be like I want to get some admission, I want to do something, I have nothing to do, that's why I am going. No, it's not like that. Research area is like another spouse. You should choose carefully, because you have to live with that area lifelong. I can't change speech and go to nobody recognize me. I married to that field, I have to be in that field unless it is dead. Right? So, it is very carefully you have to choose. Okay, and also same with your supervisor and university also for doing PhD. You have to spend some time that from where you want to do PhD. Okay, and try to go and meet the faculty. So it's nothing wrong. For BTech, MTech, it's a different thing. BTech and MTech textbook is there. You read and reproduce 60%, 50%, get some CGPA and go. But PhD is not like that. You have to understand existing things and come up with the new things. Right? So in that way, the match between you and faculty also, the supervisor is also very, very important. So try to spend some time who are the people working in your area. Okay, because research is like PhD is like making a movie. Right? So you are the director, you are the hero, you are the everything. So your advisor is like a guide, or like a senior person. That's all. So you have to spend some time, from where go and meet them. That is nothing wrong also. Here in India or abroad, wherever you want to do, approach the people and say that why you fit into that group. Even if your credentials are little less, but you are well motivated, and if you convince the person that you want to work here, they will take you. I will give one example of mine. My first PhD student, BTech is from some normal college, MTech is from Siddhartha Engineering College, Vijayawada. Many people suggested that don't take him as a PhD candidate. But I observed them, he has a spark. And I took him as my first PhD student. Imagine, he is one of the most productive students. He sees CV, his name is Harikrishna Vaidana. He is right now in Czech Republic doing in some company. He has worked in many good places. He has done postdoc in Brno University, Czech Republic, then went to Finland for some time and now worked in Oxford University for some time, and now he is in Czech Republic. Okay, so you don't know that he is very, very productive. Okay, the system I shown the demo, right? The system which is recognizing 3 languages. It is his outcome actually, outcome of his PhD, that multilingual ASR and other stuff. So in that way, if you have a, if you have a spark and convince somebody, even though whatever may be your background, there are people, not only that, many of my scholars are don't have so much of super MTech and BTechs, okay, nominal only, but I graduated 8 last week, one is done, 8 are done, okay, at least 4 or 5 of them are in industry, 4 of them are in the academia, 3 4 of senior faculty who have done in those who are senior faculty, senior people done, they are in the faculty position at different places. Youngsters who especially 20-25 years time joined people, they are in Samsung, one is in Samsung, one has his own startup. One guy is done a startup, he's normal, JBIT college, BTech, MTech from IIIT Bhubaneswar done. His startup is sold for some 4-5 crores last a few months back, So, thing is that it is quite possible if you understand your potential, if you have a confidence, go and convince the people, and there is a one more faculty, you might have heard about Professor Agnarayana, some of the people, at least Professor Agnarayana, at least senior faculty will understand, because he is my guide. Okay, he has graduated around 45 PhDs and his students are there across. His principle is that he always takes only average students. He always takes only average or below average students only for PhD. Once graduated, but he will make sure that they will land in the good position. IIT, at least IIT faculty or NIT faculty. Because he thinks that, if somebody is over-excited, over-talented, sometimes, PhD, what is PhD full form? Doctor of Philosophy, but why PhDs come first? Maybe we need patience. Right? PhD requires a patience, hard work and dedication. So patience is required. It's not that every time PhD or research is even now research is like a sine wave, right? When you get a paper or something, you will be in the positive peak. Definitely, students will trouble you, or your paper get rejected, you will be in the negative cycle. So you have to drive yourself towards the positive cycle, right? So we can't sustain in the positive cycle, it's a common thing. So that requires, to handle the negative peaks, we need a patience. Okay, so if you are, because I understand research may not be cup of, ultimate thing doing is may not be cup of tea for everybody, right? But unfortunately in Indian context is that nobody's understanding the ultimate thing is research. Doing the Microsoft job, Google job, or the shortcut is become a politician, or so, movie star, all these are fine, they are jobs. As I said, right, nobody remembers you unless you've done something for the society, unless you've done something new. Okay. So next in this cycle, why you choose that area, and second is what. That means I want to work on speech, or I want to work on communication. In that you need to spend lot of time. Let's say PhD journey is 4 years or 5 years. My guide used to say that if you know what need to be done, it's a matter of an year or year and a half to complete the things. So initial 2.5, 3 years is to take what to do. So why, that means you have to do a lot of literature review, find the gaps, try to fill that gaps, and then comes the, if you find the gap, that is what, then how to fill the gap is the how part. I want to make a movie. What movie? Okay, documentary movie or a biopic or a faction movie or whatever, that is why part. What is the story? There is a story should be there, no? And then executing that. Okay, so this cycle we have to follow. We should have a clarity on why I am choosing that problem, what I am doing, and how I am executing that. Okay, and by the way, PhD is only licensed to do research, not the end of research. With a PhD, nobody become a researcher or a great researcher. PhD is just like you got a license. It requires 10 to 15 years more time in that field to become actually a researcher. Otherwise, most of the time during PhD etc. we'll do incremental work only. Already some algorithm is there, we'll do some delta etc. Ultimate thing is that how to come up with a new algorithm altogether. Or how to come up with if you ask me, you are working in a speech from last 17 years, I am working in that speech. If you ask me my own brainchild, my own contributions, maybe I can say 1 or 2 only. which completely out of box thinking. All other works are kind of incremental only, because somebody done X, I will add delta X to it and then prove that this has some novelty, etc. But completely thinking in a different direction, or seeing a problem, the solution, giving a solution which nobody thought, will take its own good amount of time. Once you got the confidence, etc., then you can play that game more actually. So, but we should not change the area. I told no, research area is like a spouse. Should not change the area frequently. You should not change the. You have to be in that field for long actually, and also, because sometimes if some things are we should not jump into the area based on the fanciness of the areas, new areas, unless this area is kind of saturated, then maybe you need to shift the area, because that situations are coming nowadays because of the AI advancements, because some of the areas like NLP or even in speech, some of the classical problems are dead in computer vision, image processing. Most of these, whatever we have done is no relevance now. The problem, dimensions of the problem is changed a lot. Some of the conventional problems are kind of dead. And also nowadays, unfortunately, most of the problems are lie around the combination of 2-3 areas, multimodality. For example, speech emotion recognition I am doing. Only based on speech is not going to work. Maybe you have to have a process the video. Even the speech pathology also, rather than only processing from speech, can you do it from a video? That also may not stand for long because of the AI advancements. Once the video data is available, it may be long. So the thing is that nowadays, fortunately or unfortunately, the some of the areas which are related to AI are getting dead very quickly. It is also sometimes we need to because PhD will take at least 4 years, 5 years like that, right? We need to find a problem which sustains that many years, right? So because of LLM, many theses got relevant, because some I am building a system of question answer system or a summary system. Your output is nothing to do, nothing comparable with LLM, for example. That research has no meaning, no. But let us say somebody is third year, fourth year of the text summarization problem, and LLM came. Then what they will do? They can't compete with LLM. We can't build LLM. Even India, thing is that I am telling openly, even India has not built any LLM so far. They claim BharatJan and few people have started, some interest groups have started, government has poured a lot of money. We didn't build a model which will beat ChatGPT or on par with Indian language. No, we didn't yet build. China has DeepSeek and other models. Okay. So yeah, the good part of India, the good in what way we can compete with the China is that we have very young talent, very much young talent. If you thanks to Trump also, because of him, young talent is not going to US, because if he continues like that for a few more years, then people start looking for how to improve India, right? We are so then things will improve, because one of the biggest advantage for India is the kind of young population we have, but they have to be in a right direction. But unfortunately, if you see last 20-25 years, all our direction is going to Canada, going to US, going to Europe, earn money. That is the direction we are in, and enriching their place. There is also a stage that there are many people in US also believe that without Indians they can't survive. Without our talent they can't survive. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, so is anything else I missed? Yeah. Okay. So I will tell you one I will tell you one example, and then so as a faculty, for example, what are the different milestones is that, assistant professor, associate professor is a common, one or other year you will become. Those are not the goals of a faculty. Well, faculty goals is that how many quality papers you have, how much citations you have, citations, H index. Did you able to become a editor of a journal, or did you able to become a member of a conference, member of a top conference? organizing committee. These are the recognitions in the career actually. So what I told you for your research, two things I told now. One is know the top conference in your area, and second thing is who are the people in the world, maybe in India or abroad, who are driving that area. These two you should know. Okay. So I will show you what is that. Let's say this is this is Interspeech 2025 happened in Rotterdam. So I will tell you what are all information available in this. If you see the top conference in your thing, one is the proceedings of that is useful, and similarly, I'm not used to this conference. Okay, I am more involved in this conference as a tutorial chair, I know. So as I said, right, many of these companies are given a lot of money to conduct this conference because they will come and show their works, they will do recruitment there, all this will happen. Okay, so this if you see this one, special sessions and challenges. So if you know the top conference, what is the advantage is that if somebody want to start a new area, some influential person or some person have some thought that this is what the new area can be, so they will throw a challenge here. So if most of the people once they know this is the area they want to work, for example, they want to know what problem to work, etc., right? So if their guide suggests, that is fine. Otherwise, you can go and see along with your guide, go and see the top conferences, what are the challenges they have thrown. Along with the conventional topics, these are the new topics. Some of these are new topics which they are starting now. So you can start working, and sometimes they will release the data, etc., so that you can work on that data. So these, COVID time, we also have a challenge from IASC. People have thrown a challenge that can you detect the COVID from speech, like that. So some new problems, new data sets, new thoughts will come out of this. And also you can see, I told to know the good people, right? So if you see, so this organizing committee may have some people, and also important dates called for area chairs. So area chairs. So I am not saying these are the only experts in that area, but these are some of the prominent key people active. So for example, speech itself is a version for me in the what is the subtopic of me, for example phonetics or speech recognition or speech perception. So these are some of the people who are deciding the papers of that conference that year. Okay, every year chairs may change a little bit, but these are all the top people in these areas. So you can also get their names. Okay, thing is that once they know their names, you can see what work they are currently doing, what papers they published, so that you will reach quickly to state of the art. So research starts when your search comes to some shape. Search is a continuous process because every time people are publishing, so you have to update your research. You have to update. The first indication of you are on a track for research is that you read papers, and if you can able to predict the next paper, or you think that you want to do something and it got published, that means you understand that ball game. Okay, sometimes why we okay, write papers like why don't we do like that, we thought, and if you search again in the internet, recently one in that direction paper got accepted, that means you are able to predict, or you are able to think that what is going to be the direction this field is moving. So you have to find the area, and also the good people who are actually maybe some people, Preeti Jyoti from speech recognition from IIT Bombay, and few people in India, maybe from the area chairs, maybe from the others. Who are the people who are working in that area? Can I go and follow their work? Can I go and do internship with them? Okay, or can I go and have a connection with them and see how they are doing research? So inspire from there, like that, or go and work from there with them for the PhD. That's how we need to plan actually. Okay, so it is not everybody has to do like that actually. It's same for me also. My students also will see that if I have some set of problems which I am working. Otherwise, I will also try to say, let's say I feel that I want to start. I have a bandwidth. I want to start new area. I will see that what are the current challenges people are thrown. Can I participate in that challenge? Okay, earlier we worked on a challenge called speaker spoofing, that you all of you are famous, this no deepfake. All of you heard about deepfake, right? From 2016 onwards there is a challenge on this ASP. We have some 6-7 papers in the direction of speaker spoof detection. Somebody can spoof the speaker by creating their own speech. Somebody can do mimicry, somebody can use synthesizer to generate the speech, somebody do the voice conversion. These are the different attacks, how system can be robust in that direction. So one of my PhD student is worked in that direction actually. So like that. Okay, so I am part of the tutorial chair in 2021. I am unfortunately not able to attend because of COVID, etc. But I had a good rapport with this general chair, Honja, first guy. Okay, second guy. So Hani Karmansky is the first one, and Honja. Because of attending that conference in 2017, when he came to InterSpeech, ICAS 2025, and he visited IIIT, and some of our students got couple of my current PhD students co-guide is in that Brno University. So sometimes you may get saturated, you may want a fresh ideas, new thoughts, and encourage your students. So, you can also work with them. It's not that it's a long journey, right? Long ball game we have to play. So we need to have more connections, more every time we have to validate whether we are in a right direction or not, like that. Okay. I will stop by showing this one. Okay, so I suggest all of you to okay. Yeah, so this is a 2-page paper on how to read a paper. Okay, please read this. It is again by an Indian from Canada, Keshav. Okay, it's old paper, but it will give you a 3-pass approach that how to because we will spend a lot of time in research ideally on reading papers. So we need to filter out how to read. And also another tip is, I will tell you before winding up, any area you take nowadays, good part is that across the world, especially across the world, and also India also insisting PhD thesis should be online. All my students now also, Indian government has given a rule that you have to upload your thesis in the some forum, online forum, some website is there, we have to get it uploaded. Sodhganga is one, and some all my students theses are there. So one is to avoid plagiarism, other is that good part is that recently last week stuttering guy has submitted his thesis. So somebody want to work on stuttering, if you read his thesis literature review, you will understand till that point of time how is this ball game happened. He might have referred anywhere around 100 papers. So no need to stick only for that, but that will give you an overall picture quickly. Or somebody review a review paper. Somebody everybody is writing a review paper, not that. If somebody write a review paper, really working on that area for long and write a review paper, if you get that, or a good PhD thesis if you get from a good university, you will get a literature review quickly, because our journey will start only if you have a confidence on what is already done, then finding the gaps. Sometimes good part is that in the thesis along with the literature review, if you go to the last chapter, they will try to tell you the conclusion and future scope. So if you future scope, if you are interested, you can start, because he has written future scope. For example, right now I don't have any immediate student, and he's also moved to some company. So that problem is still alive. Okay, that things may be done. So that can, in that way also we can get sometimes ideas. In each, in the paper also sometimes if you see paper, any good person written a paper, they will conclude and also give some future directions. So that if you understand that paper, you can also work on that future directions. Okay. Thing is that whatever all I said requires, what is the main thing required is interest and confidence. Confidence is more important. We don't have confidence that we can do state of the art research. That is the problem. What Bahubali made, is there any story in Bahubali? Nothing, na? What it has done? It has given a confidence that we can make a global level movies. All of you follow cricket? What 2020 has given? It spoiled the cricket, of course, but it given a confidence that when I'm fond of cricket, when I'm seeing the cricket when I'm young, even 5 overs 25 runs is a difficult thing, even if you have 5 wickets in hand. Now if it is even 1 over 25 runs is chaseable. It's done also many times. Confidence. If Aditya University, if 2-3 people have done this conference, top conferences, and if that is advertised properly, you will get the confidence. Yes, we can do that. That's what exactly China has done. They collaborate, because one good part of China is that wherever they are, let us say they are in US, they will transfer all their knowledge into their own country. They will nurture the people and give the confidence. Okay. Similarly, if you people attempt, there may be people across the world or India, they will help you out and give the confidence. Confidence is what more, along with the interest. If you get the confidence, yes, we can crack, then we can reach up to China level of research actually. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Again, the papers are of 50 to 60% rejection. The proposals will have a 90% rejection. Everybody across it's not that if I write a proposal I will get a funding. Everybody, all people, I might have attempted maybe some 60-70 proposals so far. I got some 10 proposals or 9 proposals done. Some in even that 9 also, some are through my contacts or some influence. Not bribery kind of influence, but kind of thing that they know my work and they give, like CARE and some government agencies in this HAL, etc. They listen my talks or my work and then give the projects. So now a couple of things is that the ball game has changed for the proposals a lot now, because earlier governments are different and current governments are different. Current governments want a translational research. Earlier governments want a fundamental research or something you have done also, they are okay with that, some generous kind of thing. Now funding is there, equal amount of funding or more funding is there, but they will give funding only if the conditions is that your college has to be in some kind of NRF ranking or something. And second thing is that your project should include the translation. Are you starting a startup, or are you collaborating with the company already? Are they interested to take your work into a product? At least you are doing there is some, I don't know exactly, remember there is a levels of algorithm. At least the 4th level or 5th level your outcome should be. I'm not getting the name of that. Yes, exactly, translation level. So that level should be at 4 or 5 level. Okay, that means you have done enough proof of concept that industry is interested to take your algorithm. You need to convince with your proposal. So thing is that it is better you collaborate with some university or some people and show joint proposal. Now government is good to that, they are encouraging the joint proposals. And also more importantly, nowadays it's not general calls. General calls are coming, but most of the calls are problem specific or area specific coming. Recently medtech has come, NRF medtech. So this time they have done cleverly that you only express the expression of interest. If they select, we can need to write the detailed proposal. Otherwise, NRF also released last time 3-4 months back. I think in the summer they released, that is the general call for proposal. And many times, I got a recent funding from cognitive science, CSIR cognitive science funding. Okay, so if they are doing an area specific, we need to be more careful. General calls are very rare now, only 1 or 2 in 2 years or something like that. Many times things are coming, and also now government has started iHubs, innovation hubs across the India. IIIT also has one. I think 15-16 iHubs are there. They also releasing the proposals for 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs like that, but every hub is focused on particular area. My hub is focused on medical data, medical hub, iHub. They also released the recent call. Similarly, you can also look for their call for proposals, what they are looking at. and you can try to see how to collaborate with the concerned people. And another thing is that if specific calls are there, we need to really, let us say for example cognitive science. I will tell you the thing what I am the co-PA, my PA has done. Is a cognitive call for a proposal has come, then he has written, me and we together written a proposal, and then he seen that who is in that call for proposal. They also he went to website and seen who are all involved in that call, who may be the probable candidates for the interview. Okay, and he also he also in the proposal itself he cited their work. Okay, and even they have given only 5 minutes. Your online, that too online, they give 7 minutes or something. Total 10 minutes, 7 minutes there. They told prepare, if 7 minutes, how many slides you prepare? 10 slides, 15 slides. I also insisted. We also given this proposal talk to one other guy, other senior faculty. He also suggested only 10, 15. He prepared 104 slides and covered in 7 minutes. And touching upon where to touch, where to not touch. And touching the people, everywhere he touched, the committee has 6-7 people, at least 2-3 people work he touched upon, because all people we are not related, but our work related people are there. He touched upon that, how our work is advanced to them. Okay. I feel frankly that is a medium kind of proposal. If you don't do enough work, it won't get funded. He has done enough work that we got funding. The amount of effort they kept, it's not that some call comes, something we'll write, we don't know what we are. We should have a fair idea on what is the already done in that problem, what you are proposing, who are the end users, and spending enough time on that. Okay, every proposal they will ask what is the state of the art or what is the status in India and abroad. That we need to clearly write. In that process we need to decide. I told if you know the good people etc., those only will be there in the interviews, or their students will be there. If you find those people first and follow their work and your work is continued, all are interrelated actually. If you do, if you believe on science, why I told junk, Scopus, SCI, understand, you will miss this fun of who is SCI won't tell you what is the top conference. Scopus won't tell you. If you publish in Scopus, nobody reads also. What is the use? I want to know my area. Who are the people driving my area? What is the top conference in my area? That's all I want. And top journals. Why I told top conferences first? Because the conferences are the time bounded one. You will get the fresh ideas there. Journal is usually takes 1 year. Whatever today's journal, any good journal you are reading today is a 8 months or 1 year back work. Conference paper is a fresh work. Or nowadays even archive have come. How many knows archive? Cornell University Library archive, where some people are now think that they don't want to wait even conference or journal. If they got a fresh idea, good idea, they are putting the paper in the archive and submitting there in the conference. That is allowed. So that even conference paper accepted or rejected, paper is on my name. You can cite the archive paper. The good part with the archive is that you can download freely and read it. Okay. So please, I am making a Telugu movie, but I don't know any director in Telugu or any hero in Telugu. It's not, doesn't make sense, right? So similarly, if you are in that particular area of research, you should know who are the good people who are driving that area. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Actually, if I say any few words, it will be less for the session what we have benefited today. But anyhow, I would like to thank Dr. Anil Kumar sir for enlightening us with his wide research experience. And he has, in one word I can say that he has encouraged, motivated and also recreated the impression of research in everyone who is present here. Thank you, sir. For giving this valuable session for us. I have been attending Anil Kumar sir sessions from 2016 onwards, but every time when I attend a session I learn definitely a new thing from his sessions. Thank you, sir. Not only how to research, how to do the research, he has enlightened us on how to do the literature survey, how to find the, who are the expertise in that area, and the importance of attending the conferences and how to publish a paper. And not only that, he has also advised us how to go ahead, forward or step in funding proposals. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Again, what Vijayasri Madam told, I want to just extend that. Sir was in Hyderabad in today's morning. He traveled, wake up, he reached the airport at 4:30, and still with what enthusiasm, what we can learn from great people like him. You see how much sleep he had and how much fatigue he had, but still he has delivered continuously for 2.5 hours without showing that tiredness and all, and with a fresh face, and cracking so many good jokes and all. So we are very much thankful to you, sir, for that wonderful lecture. Okay, sir. Okay, so great people come from great places. So that's all. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your efforts. As what Madam told, words will not be sufficient to tell what we have gained today. Because as a coordinator and coordinator, we are moving and getting whatever little that we can get from here. Because we have to see the proceedings and all, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now I request HOD sir to honor our guest. Okay. Now there is an article discussion. All of you please move on to the library beside our conference hall. Okay, please. The participants are first requested to join us for a group photo.